Hello ladies and gents, Ro here and welcome to NOandROfilms, and today we're going to be doing a iPhone 6s LCD screen replacement. So let's go ahead. You're going to notice I'm going to have some tools here. I'll have a link in the description for you guys of where I actually purchased my screen replacement. I got it for like a total, I believe it was like 25 bucks. It comes with the tools and it comes with the LCD screen, of course, and the digitizer as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in. If you notice, my screen is actually very cracked. It's got a huge hole here at the bottom and several cracks going along the side of the actual iPhone. And make sure you have your phone off during this replacement. Highly recommend you turn it off before you begin. I'm gonna go ahead and dump all the tools I have actually right now onto this screen here. And you'll notice I have like a little pry tool. And like I said, I'll have a link in the description. This little tool actually just goes right in here, like this. And now you have yourself a little screwdriver, and let's go ahead and unhook it. Keep in mind, you do not want to lose these. These are very tiny. So we're gonna go ahead and pry this off right now. It comes with this nice little tool as well. You can suction cup right in the center here. That way you have something to lift with. Try not to ruin your actual pry tool here, just like I did. I kind of bent it here, but it should be a pretty simple slide up. Once you have it up like this, you can essentially use this tool to pry all around it and lift up the adhesive that's on there. And as you can see, I am simply going around the edge here. And make sure you lift up from the home button up like this. Whoops, popped off. And it should come out just like so, with all the adhesive there still. Keep in mind, don't yank it out, because you notice it's attached here on the front. So be careful and move all the adhesive if you want. And what we're gonna need to do next is get this little box off here in order to access where these cables go for the actual camera and the additional, the sensors and of such. Let's go ahead and open up this box here. Now that we have access to the actual connector for these sensors, we should be able to easily lift them up by a simple nudge, and it should just pop off here. And there you have it, just like that. And we're gonna get right underneath there. Actually, there's a total of 3, it looks like. The way they came out, you're gonna need to put them back in the same way. And there you have it. There is our screen completely off. Now keep in mind, we are going to need to replace the home button, which is down here, and we're going to need to replace the rest of the camera set up here, and we're going to need to re-add that to our new screen as well here. So let's go ahead and take these off now. We're first going to start with the home button here. Now keep in mind, you're going to also need to remove these here on the side. Keep that in mind. So here's the camera. We have our sensors here as well. Make sure you don't tug or pull on this. It just actually comes off after you get the screws off. And it should just lift up afterwards here. Careful with that piece. Which just sits in there, just like that. So now we really got to take off the front camera up here that's still attached and the sensor here. I'm just going to hold on to these cables here that we actually plug into the portion of the iPhone right back here. But let's go ahead and pry this off. Like I said, keep this as gentle as possible. You're working with some sensitive technology. I'm actually going to use this little tool that came on with that came with my little toolkit. And I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to just kind of wiggle it off. Just like this. Try not to damage anything. Should just pop right off just like that. Now this little golden piece here as well. Now the best way I've found to get this little golden piece out along with the rest of the the hook up here, you're gonna want to best to aim from this little white dot here. It's actually also attached to it. So if you go underneath by the white dot, you should be able to lift up with the golden piece just like this. And then once it's kind of off already, you can just grab the rest of this. Don't yank too hard, make sure it's already loose, and you'll be able to just kind of lift it up like that. And you'll notice that this part here stays on, this part stays on, and this whole, or like with the sensor and the actual camera here, it's all comes off as one piece. Now be sure to keep that handy somewhere nearby because you're going to need it for the new screen in just a little bit. Now that we have the majority out at the top, we're actually going to go use this tool again that came with the kit and pry these little pieces off that actually keep the camera in place. Now keep in mind they're plastic, so you don't want to break these or crack them. So we're going to go ahead and try to just kind of wiggle this one out of here. Once it's loose, we can go ahead and grab it out of there. There's one more over here. When you remove the black piece, all right, the little circular plastic piece that goes in here, keep in mind not to damage it when you pop it out. I popped mine out, and it did bend it a little bit, and it still got a little adhesive left on it too. So we're gonna go ahead and go down to the home button and remove this part. Remember we unhooked it earlier, so it should be already loose, and I'm gonna set it down here with the rest of my screws. Once you have the home button completely clear, you can go ahead and unlatch it right down here. And you should be able to just simply unclick it just like that. You notice that little piece is off completely just like that with the clip. And we should be able to lift up the home button as well. It's got some adhesive on it as well. So we're gonna kind of try to lift it up gently because this is the home button. We don't want to damage the home button. But it should just lift up just like that. And my screen was broken right at the home button. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this little screen that's attached to it still. There is a little screw up here as well, I noticed. I'm going to unscrew that now too. Now I am gonna take off this additional item, the screen portion. It's got a couple adhesives here and here. Go ahead and pry those off. Now I got the frame off as well for the back of the display. So here's the old display. Now completely off my old iPhone. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up here. And I'm gonna open up the new display now. Compared to my old one here, it looks so much nicer. And you'll notice that the old one still has these and the new one has all these as well attached to it along the bottom here as well. I'm going to remove this little plastic cover completely because we do not need this plastic adhesive. Put it on the paper towel. And I'm going to remove this red cover as well, which we do not need either. This frame will go right here. So now that we have the main screen, slide it in, just like so. Make sure you align all of the top and that one there as well, and the bottom. Now before you attach the frame, let's get the home button in first. I just wanted to align the frame, that way I know how it goes. But we're gonna go ahead and grab that home button and drop it in just the way we got it out pretty much. And just make sure it's in place before, you know, you end up putting the cover back on. But as you see here, this is just gonna flip right on top of there, on top of this little clip. Make sure it's good in there by just giving it a good push down. And then it should kind of clip in, and you might want to look at it from the side, make sure it's completely flush. Just make sure there's no, whoops, make sure you don't drop or break your screen while you're working on it. We can go ahead and place this metal bracket back on, which would cover the home screen. Keep in mind, that's why I didn't have you screw in the frame yet. The frame, actually this portion here, goes underneath it, and then it goes on top, like this. So we're gonna go ahead and attach this now. As you can see, we've attached it, attached the button, and it looks perfect. It looks nice and flush on the front there of the new display. So let's go back up to the top. Now we're going to attach the actual the speaker and the rest of the camera systems back on. Keep an eye on this. This is a little bit of a process. Keep in mind there were some adhesive pieces that were holding this down along the edges, down this way and down this way. I kind of ripped mine off, but you can, if you're able to salvage those, go ahead and just reattach them back here just to hold this portion down onto the display. For my case, I think I'm gonna go without it, and we're just gonna go back and we're gonna reattach these little plastic pieces that we took out earlier and put them in their appropriate locations. So this one here went at the top. Just like that. And then this one here at the top here. Just like so. Now that we have both of those at the top there, now we can go ahead and apply the rest of the sensors and the speakers. This was probably the tiniest screw of them all, but you can go ahead and grab it and place it right in here. Essentially all that does is hold the frame down. Now we're going to go ahead and apply the rest of these items up here. So I'm going to hold this down like this, you know, what we took off initially, the speakers up here and the camera portion here. Remember we took off that little golden piece first, so we're actually going to start with it and we're going to put it back on first with that. I'm going to go ahead and pull these forward like this, but in order to get that golden piece in there, I'm going to just kind of lay it in there first, and then we're going to use our screw just to kind of push it down and apply it to the surface there. So we notice the golden piece clips in to the spot. We're going to hold that down with our index finger. Now we're going to kind of push these pieces into place. Once you've placed essentially all of these little pieces in their place, here, if with the camera, if you notice I have my camera up, but I have all the other pieces in its place, holding it down by my index finger. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this, the speaker actual portion of it, with the camera up. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down in here. Now that we have the earpiece in there fully, we can slide the camera portion of it, you know, the camera from speaker on, and click it in here. It should be all flush, just like this. I am holding it down. Now that we have it flush like this, we can get our bracket that covered the speakers again. I'm gonna just place it on top here. During the process, my adhesive actually came off. So since it wasn't staying on, I had removed it completely. This is attached properly, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use the screws, the 3 screws, to reapply it. It is nice and flush and in the system there now. Keep in mind I did not have the adhesive to put this back on. Now we're going to go ahead and apply the screws on the side again. Now once you have all of them in, we're going to go ahead and apply it back to the motherboard, which will have to connect the same way you unhooked it. So we're going to flip this screen. If you notice, it would essentially connect like this onto it. So we're going to flip it upside down like this, just the way we took it out. And now we're going to apply. If you have a little screen protector on here, make sure it doesn't get in the way. It's just for the actual screen, you know, but I would suggest keeping it on so you don't get smudges on it while you're holding it and working on it. So let's go ahead and reattach this just the way it is. So we're going to attach this one here first, and then we're going to attach this one, and then we'll apply the last one here as well. Let's go ahead and do that now. Now, once we have all of these little pieces connected, before we apply the frame back onto it to cover it up, we're actually going to go ahead and test the screen. And I'm going to just lay it kind of flat. Let's go ahead and power it on. And there we have it. It looks like it's working. If your screen has got some kind of like buzzing or wigging out or anything going on the screen, you're most likely going to need to unplug it back here and then re-plug it back in, and then restart your phone while you're doing that. Make sure, and then test the screen again. But as you can see, mine is officially 100% working. And let's see if that 3D touch works as well. And yes, it does. Shut that off, and we're gonna go ahead and reapply the little cover for this and plop in the LCD screen back into its original location and make sure it still works. So let's go ahead and do that now. It's very important to keep in mind which screws went in where. The longer screw is going to go in the top right portion of the frame. Now once the frame is good and in, just like so, we can go ahead and plop the rest of the screen in. And we're going to pop in the top of the screen in first. Just like that. Now once you see the top's completely in just like this, you can go ahead and push the rest of the screen in. Now, before you go ahead and say that you're done, don't forget to put in the last two screws that go in the bottom. They're very tiny and they go in. One goes in here and then one goes in there. Once you do that, your iPhone should be all good, up and running and working. Should be all good. I'm going to go ahead and power it on. And we're going to remove the screen protector. And I should have my iPhone just like that. Should be all ready, working. Be sure to leave any questions in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. Check out the links in the description and the additional notes in the description for any updates. As of right now, my phone is working. It's in good condition now, and my screen is no longer damaged. As you can see from my previous LCD, which was completely ruined. Just in case you're wondering, a bonus note, I broke this while skateboarding, so I don't recommend using your phone and skateboarding at the same time. I landed directly on the phone. And, you know, it broke my fall, but it also broke the phone. And there we have it. But that's it, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys next video, and later.